Hi, Autumn. How you doing? So I am so glad that you were able to get the work in. That's so cool. So this should be your final critique before you turn in your final portfolio. So give me about 10 minutes here. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I have a little bit to talk about. So I'm not going to talk too much about this audit page because that's for your organization. I mean, I read those, make sure they're being filled out, but that's pretty much for your personal organization. The website. This logo, the website is set up very nicely. As you said, simplicity is the name of the game here. There's some things that I would like to do here that just to clean things up just a little bit, okay? The first page, you have all these boxes around everything. You have this box around your map. Then you have this box around your image. And then you have this in a box here. And you even have, basically, you even have your logo in a box and your tagline in a box. So what I want to do is I want to start removing some of these boxes. So what you can do with this image here, this is a great image. What I'd like to do is I'd like to feature this image right here. What you'll have to do is let's just crop the bottom off that image and let's just feature the important part, and that's that logo in the window. And if you can even bring that up a little, right? I think it's closed, the window's cropped, and so I'd like to include maybe a little bit more of that window and a little bit less of the foreground. Get those chairs right about the bottom of that chair, a little bit of the ground at the bottom of that chair would be perfect, and that's a nice shot. Now, we don't need these shots here if you have this beautiful shot here. So what you can do is you can take this area here, right about there or so, and just use that shot in it right there. Don't skew, I mean, don't don't scale that image without constraining the proportions, but you may have to scale it to fit that new window. I'm going to say it's going to be about like that big right there to the bottom of those images, okay? And then the image would go in there, and note that this bottom here, this image is closer to that image goes off the page. This one doesn't. So does this, and that's just kind of weird that one ends there. So we'll take care of that with that image. Then remove this box for the map and take this text here. Forget the white. Put it into red and just put it right there. That way it won't look so strange that everything's in boxes, okay? The next page, the same thing. I'd like to have, I mean, what I'm guessing is that these are open, these are links that twirl open. And I would rather have a text page on here. I would rather have some sort of a text page. And what I want you to do here from there is your first and second pages. You only have to go 3 pages deep, though. So that last page you don't need, or one of these pages you don't need. But what I would say is just go and check out some of the competition. This looks like a organic type bakery slash a restaurant. So that's awesome. That's a great niche. So, try to just try to develop some sort of a text grid on the page so that we can set up just 2 more pages. Let's say a menu page and maybe a catering page. And those would be pretty easy to set up. And like I said, take a look at some of the competition. Think about your grid, okay? And stick with that. For instance, grid. Here's 1, 2, and 3. Basically 3 columns, 1 wide, 2 narrow. But then down here, you've got this one, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 narrow images. And then here you have 1 wide column and 1 small. So let's just try to at least this is good that everything's in this area right here. That's awesome. That's a really good job. So let's try to duplicate that for this page here. Just use that area right there. And likewise, with that, I wouldn't mind seeing some text on this page instead of those things. That area right there. Okay. Enough on the website. I think you get the idea. Let's go ahead and move forward to the package design. I like this a lot. This is done beautifully. Autumn, did I see this before? I think I saw some files for this, but I don't think I ever saw these final projects. This is wonderful. Okay, so what are we going to do here? Let me tell you, these aren't bad product shots, but let me show you a couple of things regarding this shot right here, which is this is your money shot, basically. And I've got queued up here a different website that I want you to take a look at. And all I did here is I just Googled product shots for a photography portfolio, so you can get some ideas of how things are shot. And here's one with some bottles. I think there was also one with some shampoos or something like that. But anyways, take a look. I want to show you another something here that I saw a second ago, and that was product shots for a graphic design portfolio. Was that it? Yes, it was. Let's go to history. Product shots for graphic design portfolio. Okay, and there's an image. Oh, here it is, right over here. This is great. This is great. This site right here, it's from Creative Block. So I just want to go to this page, and I want to show you some things, especially that they've done very well. Now, this is a whole article about setting up your work to shoot it for a portfolio. So it's a good idea to read that. But I want you to take a look at this shot right here. That's the setup with the camera, and that's a setup with a camera. So that's how you get these really cool backgrounds like this. All that is two pieces of construction paper, one laid on the ground, one laid on a background. So, I mean, you could very easily do that for your product shot, right? Because I think that's too close anyways. That's a too close up of a shot. You need to back off on that a little bit. And then you see it's just colored construction paper. You can use all sorts of things too. You can use two pieces of wood paneling, two pieces of white mounting board. It just as long as one is mounted, just like this. Here's one on the table, and here's one on the back, and you get these really wonderful effects. And the nice thing though is you can put light on it and get these cool shadows. See, right here and right here. Very, very cool. And that's an alternative to it. You can do this in Photoshop, absolutely. But this is just a wonderful, wonderful alternative. Plus, it takes just as long to do it in Photoshop as it does to shoot it like that. So that is that. And let me show you that website right there, Creative Block. And there is the URL for that. I'll leave that up there for a minute. And then again, I just caught that by Googling how to shoot product shots, or shooting a product shot for a graphic design portfolio. Excuse me. Okay, so, okay, I'm sure you got that by now. So anyways, let's just go, let's get out of here and go back to your work. There we are. Okay, so then, learn and then reshoot those, because this is a wonderful piece. These are good shots too, but again, product shot, and they're just too close. Macro shots are good, but that's a neither or a neither. That's like an in-between. So you can move out on that. Also, eventually, you're going to have to go into these product shots and fix the creases in Photoshop. And again, I would use that same background to shoot all of these. But this is great. This is great stuff, and it's wonderful for your portfolio. Something like this, you could have this box, and then maybe another box turned on its side to the front, leaning this way, kind of. Here's this box, and then have another box leaning this way, or something like that. Ideas for product shots. Here, you're getting a really good idea here, because you've got that platform that is the work is sitting on. So you understand the principle of presentation, as it were. Now you've got all of your labels and your production files, which is really good. I love to see that in portfolio. I really do. I love to see that. It tells me a lot, and it shows me a lot about the student and what they want to understand and what they do understand. So the thing is, though, is that with the production shots, you can put those all on one page. They don't have to be this big. And, that stroke around the label is a little bit drastic. I would reduce that a little bit. I think it's drawing too much attention to the edges of the label where you want to keep the intention in. It's a gorgeous label, by the way. Beautiful work. Okay, so good stuff there. Product shots, these production shots can all be presented on the same page. You can go smaller on these too. Okay, now this final piece, this is what I want you to do for this, Autumn. It's not quite meeting the expectations or the requirements for the publication design. So all I really want you to do is this, is I want you to do one of two things. The easy fix, of course, would be to show this page, okay, and then take your grid structure and draw it out so that you can lay it over this page, superimpose it over this page, so that the viewer can see, you know, here's a grid line, here's a grid line, here's a grid line, and so on and so forth. And that's how you composed your page. Okay, that is one alternative. The other alternative is to add a cover to this. And if you can add a cover to this, that would be wonderful. I don't know what you would call it. I don't know, American fast food. I don't know, but it would just some sort of a cover and some sort of a contents page. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at those requirements. I'm gonna go. I don't want to take up all your time here. But I want to go to week 1, A3. Back where it described everything that we needed. So I'm just going to go to week 1 and let me go down to A3 and let's take a look at the publication design. Okay, so you have an annual report, some other multi-page editorial design. Okay, publication design, a cover, a table of contents, and at least one spread, or a digital grid system, a tabloid design. So this is what I would like to shoot for right here. Publication design, cover, table of contents, and at least one spread. If you don't have time to put that together by tomorrow, I think, when your final is due, then develop a digital grid and show us how you use the grid to design this spread. I want to go back to that spread too because I saw some typographic issues that you'll want to address. Let me just come in here a little bit. Okay, so this is good. Your rags, you may want to look at your rags a little bit closer here. Rags are supposed to go basically like this, zigzag down the page. These right here are pretty good rags. There, see how there's one short, one long, one short, one long, one short, one shorter, one long, one short, and then that's great if you can follow that pattern. These are good rags here. One short, one long, one short, one long, one short, one long. That's wonderful right there. This is pretty darn good right here. These are the things you want to avoid right here. This dip right there because we get a long line, shorter, 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 longer, 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 longer. So you want to avoid those kind of patterns in your rags. This would be considered a considered a typographic widow. I'm sorry, orphan. Thought I saw. Oh, this one as well, right there, and that would too. Typographic. That would no. That's okay. That's okay too. Right there, right there. Any dangling sentence at the beginning or the end of a text column like this, you're beginning a paragraph at the end of the text column, so that's an orphan. You have this at words dangling at the end of a paragraph right there. That's an orphan. And then a widow would be if there was an end of a word, like one word up here at the top of a, or if one sentence were to end, a paragraph sentence were to end like right here, and then you were to begin a new paragraph. So watch those, and that's all I have. 15 minutes later, right? So that's cool. Excellent job. We're there. Just looking for the final. But I want to remind you to please take the course survey, the student survey. It's super important, and it's becoming much more important for us. I'm an adjunct, and it's really one of the only ways for the administration to to know that students are getting what they want out of this class, or what they need, so that I'm not just playing games for 6 weeks, okay, so to speak. And it keeps us working, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So anyways, Autumn, any questions? whatsoever. I'm going to take this guy right here. Whoops, and I am going to write my phone number. Oops, sorry about that. Ooh, whoa, what happened there? Jeez. 3261. 61. Okay, so and if you have any issues at all and you want any help, um, you know, if I can explain anything further, or we can even Skype and look at the work together. I just want you to get to be at a really comfortable point putting this thing as. I want you to be proud of the portfolio, and I can help you get there. So if you do want to talk about it, I can explain things further. Feel free to call me at that number because I leave my phone on for the last 3 days of the session here 24/7, so I can take calls. So feel free to call if you need it. Okay. Thanks so much, Autumn. Great class. Looking forward to the final. Thank you.